Hello, and welcome to the NetGladiator demonstration video. After this short presentation, you'll hopefully have a much better understanding of the NetGladiator technology and how it can improve the security of your web applications. First, I'd like to discuss the motivation behind our product design. The security experts that developed NetGladiator have lots of experience dealing with intrusion detection systems and other web application firewalls. While these products do provide value and are quite robust in functionality, they are often too protective and too powerful for the average website. Intuitively, that may sound like a strange thing to say when we're talking about security. Don't you want a product that protects against everything? The problem is that this over-robustness in functionality and detection elicits too many false positive alerts, and they are eventually ignored. In addition, devices that block malicious actions can actually block legitimate requests. Your new security appliance won't last long if it is blocking valid users. Take a look at this screenshot from a popular web application firewall report. You'll see that in just over 1 week we have 19,735 attacks on just this website. You'll see it gives us some useful information about SQL injection, but the probing attacks, for instance, are way too many to go through. There could be legitimate probing going on our website and we would have no idea. So, what has happened here is that you have a tool that was powerful and effective and rendered it useless due to the amount of alerts you were receiving. NetGladiator aims to change that by cutting through the hype of offering protection against tens of thousands of vulnerabilities and instead focusing on real security. We sacrifice needless functionality for meaningful alerts. If NetGladiator blocks an IP address, you can be certain that it was a malicious request and can respond proactively. NetGladiator is also configured with your needs in mind and is fully customized to your environment. Let's take a look at NetGladiator under the hood to see how malicious actions are spotted and blocked. This is the NetGladiator Management Console. There are menus here with useful maintenance and firewall-related tasks, but there is one key menu I'd like to discuss before demonstrating a real attack, and it is integral to how NetGladiator functions. That menu is the Configure Patterns menu. The patterns are the regular expressions that NetGladiator's DPI engine looks for and blocks against. NetGladiator does not tail logs. It goes right to the source and looks at data in network packets. This means that you can use the DPI engine at your disposal. We've found that the best configurations are a mix of patterns that protect against basic attacks as well as patterns that are specific to your environment. Let's discuss a couple of these. First off, we have a mix of standard vulnerability detection, attacks like cross-site scripting and SQL injection, followed by patterns specific to our environment. We gathered these patterns from our Apache logs and saw some attempts to inject SQL in our demo page, and also attempts to access a well-known Trojan called C99.php, so we added in some rules to protect against these. The other thing to notice is that each pattern has a color-coded rating. The available values are green, yellow, and red. Green patterns are only timing-based and are used to protect against brute force attacks. For instance, a green pattern would hit and be blocked if loaded more times than a given threshold for a specific IP address. Yellow patterns have a two-strike policy, and 2 yellow patterns are hit, the IP is blocked. Red patterns are blocked right away. Because attacks come from an array of IP addresses, the IP is only blocked for a set amount of time before it is released. This way, if a normal user gets that IP assigned to them down the line, they won't experience blocking. Let's take a look at an example attack. In our discussion about the configuration patterns, I mentioned that we put a rule in place to protect against SQL injection in our demo page. Let's show how that attack might work. Our demo page is not really vulnerable, but this does simulate something a real attacker would try. It's important to thwart this information gathering process as early as possible. No attack succeeds out of the blue. It's a process of discovery. If you can stop the discovery, you've done your applications a great service. Here's our regular demo page. PHP parameters in the URL are often a vulnerable point in many web applications. In order to test if a site might be vulnerable to SQL injection, the attacker will insert some basic SQL to see how the site responds. If there is a favorable response, they will continue testing. NetGladiator stops connections from that IP right away, making information gathering a painstaking process. Let's give it a try. What I did was insert some SQL keywords. Even though they don't make sense, the NetGladiator process will still pick up on this and block the IP address. You'll see that the page loaded successfully, but the IP is now blocked, and the administrator is notified so that they can diligently handle the threat. The attacker cannot run any more commands from that IP. Let's try to reload this page. You'll see that all connections to this website are now dropped for this specific IP. Obviously, this is just a simple example of what NetGladiator can do. The sky's the limit when it comes to what vulnerabilities you can protect against. Because pattern writing requires some security expertise, all NetGladiator purchases come with a custom configuration written for your environment by our security experts. We address problems you've faced in the past and identify potential holes that could cause problems down the road. Our goal is to improve your security profile so that you don't become a victim of a damaging attack. If you have questions about NetGladiator, ethical hacking, or security in general, drop us an email anytime. Thank you very much for listening.